Hello everybody, happy Sunday, welcome. I just got out of the shower, my hair's still wet. How was your Labor Day weekend, everyone in the United States? Oh, my boyfriend's blending the blender, sorry about that. Welcome, I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. My hair is purple again, it's wet and purple. I just haven't been able to keep one color very long lately. Okay, so much has been happening in this group lately. I just want to kind of go through some of these exciting things that are happening. First of all, my group program, Awaken Your Inner Wisdom, has started, and I am completely obsessed with all the women in this group and all the work that we are doing together, and some of them might be listening right now. Thank you for being in that group. It's amazing. I love it. So a lot of my time is dedicated to that right now, which may be why I'm not as much in our main group here, but loving those ladies. I've been working on this free resource library for you. It's going to be free to everybody, and I'm almost done. Probably go out tomorrow. It includes things already like meditations and yoga, and there's a full moon ritual, there's quizzes and cookbooks and skincare recommendations, lots of things. And don't get me wrong, it's all really good, but I am going to give even more love to some of my paying members of the Healing Circle. So the additional resources that those members are going to get include everything I just mentioned, but they'll get some extra meditations, extra yoga classes, and I have this really cool section that I've kind of cultivated, and it's this more like nutritional physical health, and that's not my main focus, but I did want to include some of that into the free resources. And so some of those examples, there's a bunch of PDFs, one's on what HPA axis dysregulation is, how to boost your mood without medication, diet and lifestyle changes for healthy skin, something that I am kind of obsessed with for myself. Just different food lists like paleo, low FODMAP diet foods. There are PDFs on optimizing copper levels, top dietary sources of magnesium, all sorts of stuff, really good. And then there's some actual protocols in there too. So I'm including like antimicrobial protocol, a 30-day paleo reset, a way for you to monitor glucose if you're interested in starting to monitor your blood sugar fluctuations. So all of those things are getting bundled up with love, lots of love for all the Healing Circle members, and they're gonna get all the extra stuff. Low oxalates. Do I have a PDF about oxalate? I don't think I do, but Kathy, maybe I will add that because I think that's really interesting and something I learned a few years ago from Donna Gates, Body Ecology Diet, and ever since then I've been really fascinated about oxalate levels as well. So if you're not already in the Healing Circle, come join us. What are you waiting for? You just go to autoimmunetribe.com/healing circle, and all of this will be available to those members, and then a smaller selection of that will be available to everybody, okay? So lots of things happening. That is one of the things I've been working on. And if you want in, come join us, autoimmunetribe.com/healing circle. Just $11, okay? So next I want to talk about today's topic, which is intuition. I love talking about intuition. And I read this blog post earlier today, I think it was from the Huffington Post, and a line in here is from Steve Jobs, and he says that intuition is more powerful than intellect. And intuition is something that's really challenging to define. So I'm curious, anyone listening now or to the recording, how do you define your intuition or intuition in general? What does that mean to you? What words come up for you when you think about intuition, okay? I think it plays this huge role in our everyday lives, but it is still something that is hard to define. It's hard to put words to. So I pulled this from Sophie Burnham. She's the author of The Art of Intuition. And she says, I define intuition as a subtle knowing without ever having any idea why you know it. It's different from thinking. It's different from logic or analysis. It's a knowing without knowing. And the same blog that I had read also wrote that intuition is not just a bunch of hoo-ha and using your spidey senses, although I kind of like that. And I love the woo, but I love the woo backed by the science, okay? If you guys haven't already noticed that, I like a good mix of both, right? And this is from Ivy Estabrook, who is an officer of naval research. And she said, there is a growing body of anecdotal evidence combined with solid research efforts that suggest intuition is a critical aspect of how we humans interact with our environment and how ultimately we make many of our decisions. So this intuition, right, however you want to define it, is something that we use, we tap into every single day, and that is a huge part of our decision making. So to me, intuition is this deep inner knowing. It is a lack of analyzing and instead feeling instead of thinking, and listening to that inner voice within inside of you. So it is this ability, kind of like I mentioned before, to know something or understand something without conscious reasoning, right? Deep gut knowing, right? That is your intuition. So why or what the hell does this mean in relationship to autoimmune disease, right? It means that you can uncover the truth and answers about your body when you use it. You can use it every single day in your decision making. You can use it to get more in tune and tapped into your body, what's going on physically and emotionally, and build a better relationship with yourself, which can lead to greater self-love and acceptance. You can use your intuition to eat intuitively and pick your healthcare practitioner intuitively. You can plan and schedule your day intuitively. So I could go on, right? But basically, I think our intuition is one of our greatest powers, and something that if you're not using, you're really missing out. Sorry, but you are. So how can we start to activate and tune into that intuition in a deeper way? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 suggestions today on how to strengthen intuition. Number 1 is to pull a card every day, okay? By card, I mean oracle cards or tarot cards. I don't know, I feel like I'm more of an oracle card girl because I like the broadness of it. That's not to say that tarot isn't broad too, but I love the interpretation, and I think tarot has a little bit more of a built-in story around it. There's a lot of history around it, but neither one is religious, and they don't even have to be spiritual, right? So regardless of your beliefs, I'm not trying to scare anyone away here, okay? You can use oracle cards, okay? And it's not against anyone's religion. And so here I am shuffling one of my decks, one of my favorite decks, which is the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards, okay? This is from Doreen Virtue, who, has anyone read about her lately? She's going through all sorts of crazy stuff. But this deck I absolutely love. And I suggest, in order to tune into that intuition, that you pick a card for yourself, not for other people, for yourself every single day. And I've been doing this, and I have kind of one deck that I mostly do it with, but I have a lot of decks, so sometimes I'll switch it up. And I just shuffle, and I pick a card. Green Tara. Start delegating. Ask others to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. Yeah. Did anyone just read the Facebook post I posted about how I had a fibromyalgia flare this week, and it was horrible, and it was the worst flare I've had in a while, and how I think that the underlying emotional message of that flare was to slow down. So this card is reinforcing that. Start delegating. So when you pick your card from any deck you desire, how does this activate your intuition, right? First of all, you're activating your intuition by picking a card that intuitively feels good. Like you're picking the card that your mind is drawn to, that your finger is drawn to, that your heart is drawn to. Second, you get to look at it, and yes, sometimes there's words on the card. So I've got a couple decks here just out in front of me. I've got my Earth Magic that we just used for the 5-day training. I've got one of my favorite decks right now is this Wisdom of the Oracle. by Colette Baron Reed. And so some cards have more or less text on them, right? So here's another example, is this card from a different deck, time for a nap. And that can be interpreted really literally. But you can also look at the card. So for example, this green, coming back to Green Tara, and you could just look at the card and say, like, what does this mean to me? What emotions come up when I look at this card? What symbolism do I see? And so I see like this color green, which to me, because I'm someone who has studied chakras and chakra therapy and how to balance the chakras and crystal healing for chakras, I think of green and I think of heart chakra, right? And I think that the language just starts to come to you, right? So I do this every day, so it comes very naturally, but I think that it's a good way to start practicing. So I see green, I think heart chakra, I think self-compassion, aka self-compassion. One way to practice that would be to start delegating so I don't have to do everything myself, right? So Kathy, I did read it, talk about the jizz that helped you. Talk about the jizz that helped you. What do you mean by that, Kathy? Please explain. Love the Wisdom of Oracle deck too. Yes, I love this one. It's my only deck of hers too. I think I need to get more of her decks. They're fantastic. So when you're looking at this, you can start to use your intuition by discovering, what does this mean to you? What emotions come up? What is the symbolism that you see, right? And that can be so amazing. Gizmo. Oh, you're talking about my Facebook post. Here's the box for it. It's not in this room right now. It's in the other room, but here's the box. And it is from, you know how I told you guys how I'm in the middle of this bioenergetic practitioner training, and it's with this company called Ness Health, and this is the My Health, which is part of that training. And you can kind of see right here on the picture, it has different settings, and there's like these, on the other side of it, there's electrodes, and you put it on your body, and it helps correct any energetic distortions in your body, and it is freaking amazing. I guess I need to come on and do a different live for that. That's a lot more information I could tell you. So today we're going to stick to intuition, but that's what I was talking about in my post. Okay, so first, cards. Anyone have questions about that? Let me know. That is one of my favorite ways to tap into guidance every single day, asking for just additional guidance in my life, and a way for me to start to feel. Use heart, right? Like feel, what do I feel today? What do I feel when I look at this card? And a lot more feeling versus thinking is how we activate the intuition. Number 2 is meditate. This might seem really obvious, and hi Nikki, welcome, happy Sunday. Yes, you're welcome, Kathy. Number 2 is to meditate. Again, probably seems obvious, but the thing about meditation and why I wanted to include this is sorry, I got distracted. My unicorn crystal was like face planted, so I had to fix him. I got a no face planting little unicorn. When you meditate, you do not have to quiet your thoughts. You do not have to shut your brain off, right? It does not require complete and utter stillness. Like that would be, I don't know, enlightenment or something. You would leave your body, right? What I'm talking about is just simply getting still, breathing, listening to chanting, listening to your favorite songs. You can do a walking meditation. You can listen to a guided meditation. Maybe it's just quiet and you intentionally breathe in to a count of 5 and out to a count of 5. Like there are endless ways to meditate. My message to you today is that when you meditate and you make this a practice, it helps you activate your intuition, because during that stillness, so there's a stillness, but not a silence, right? So you're not silencing your thought, but you're getting more still. You're slowing down from the everyday kind of clusterfuck of your head, right? Slowing down. And when you slow down, that allows space for you to listen to your heart, listen to your feelings, listen to how, or be aware of how you actually feel that day. And so activating the intuition by being open to receive those feelings, okay? Does that make sense? So I do this, I've been a lot more mindful about this lately, and I go through ebbs and flows just like all of us. Like there's weeks where I don't meditate and I usually feel a little thrown off. And then there's weeks like this week I've meditated every single day and just been really intentional about it, and it felt good. It didn't feel like a chore. So I think you have to be aware of that. But during those times, so like yesterday when I was meditating, I get some of my best intuitive ideas and just guidance through that stillness, right? So number 2 is meditate. Again, number 1 was pull a card every day. Number 3 is to free write, okay? I call this automatic writing sometimes too. And all you have to do is get out a piece of paper. I usually need several pieces of paper, but when you're starting, it might just stick to one piece of paper. Grab your pen, and I usually like to put something at the top of the page, whether it's a question that I want guidance on, or maybe just a strong like intention or affirmation for this time. So like an example would be, I let the universe do her thing, or please allow me to tap into my intuition right here on this page today. So almost like just like this little intention at the top of the page, or it could be a question like, what do I need to know about writing my book? How can I be more intentional about setting the time aside? That's something I'm struggling with right now. Setting the time aside for writing. So question, or just a short something to like get you grounded and set an intention for the intuitive feelings to come through. And then I just like close my eyes. They don't have to stay closed the whole time, but like close my eyes and maybe turn on some music and just write. And I don't think, because intuition is not thinking, it is feeling. So I don't think about what I'm going to write. I just feel and write. And many of you may have heard my story about when I did this and the word Joshua Tree came up. I ended up driving across the country to California and going to Joshua Tree because of this thing that I wrote down. I didn't even know where it was when I first wrote it, so I don't know why I wrote it. But it's a really cool way for you to just flow. Turn on a little bit of that left side feminine, be open to receive, and flow. Good? So that's number 3, is just free writing and seeing what comes up. Drop the expectation and just write. They don't have to be full sentences. It doesn't even have to make freaking sense, but it's a way for you to start to tap in and strengthen your intuitive abilities, okay? So just to recap, number 1, pull a card every day. Number 2, meditate, get still, be open for some of those messages. Number 3, free write or automatic writing. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I love hanging out with you guys every Sunday, and let me know what you want more of, okay? I've got a few extra special announcements coming soon, but I'm not quite ready to tell you yet, but I'm very excited. So stay tuned, and I love you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.